Hello everyone. So I'm live after quite some time. So yes, Abhilasha. Hi Monica, Aparna, Nidhi. Hi Abhilasha.
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
All well, all well.
Ma'am, just give me a minute, please.
Yeah, sure. Hi Priyanka, Monica, Sukhmani, Arvinder. Hi everyone. Annapurna, Komal, Aparna, Mehul. Wonderful to see so many people here today. Hey Rita, hi. That's so sweet of you to be there. Maua, Ritu, Nithi, lovely. Everybody. Well, there are people joining in quickly, Abhilasha, which is
Yes, ma'am.
good.
And even our past participants who were there in our last workshop, they have joined up. So if you
Okay,
can send,
awesome.
I request them to ask for, to join. Please send the request to join the meeting. So
Yeah,
Apurva is
I think
there and
Maua can join in so we can.
yeah.
Uh, I think we need Maua to join. The ones who've attended our inner child retreat. Um, Apurva is there. Apurva, you can send a message, darling. You can join in. Yeah. Yeah. I think Smita hasn't done our past life. I mean,
No,
our
Smita hasn't,
inner
ma'am.
child. Hmm.
Yeah.
There are people who are asking me if they can join, but I think they can join a little later. Once we get the past participants to talk about the retreat, then Rita, Monica, these people can join if they want to ask questions. But
Sure.
first, let Apurva, Mahua join in, Param join in.
Yeah.
So anyway, just to let everybody know, thank you so much for joining in. I think I'm doing a live after quite some time, maybe a year. I've been so busy with work. Uh, Abhilasha keeps me on my toes. So we've been really busy traveling and working. But August is the date, right, Abhilasha?
Yes, ma'am.
24th to 28th August in Goa is when we are doing the inner child retreat. It's called the Reparenting Reclaim Your Inner Child Retreat. I think Dharmesh is here.
Yeah, ma'am. Holistic ka world.
Dharmesh, yes, that's right. Okay, yes, Dharmesh. We're just getting you in. Just accept, Dharmesh. Okay, here we go. I'm going to accept you, Dharmesh. Yes.
Hi,
Hi, Dharmesh.
Ramesh.
How are you?
All right. So, friends, here we have Dr. Dharmesh, himself an adolescent psychiatrist from Surat, who had joined our Goa Inner Child Retreat. And I think Dharmesh can say about his experience, about how he made changes in himself, and of course, now that he helps so many adolescents. So, Dharmesh, can you share a little bit?
Sure, Ma. Thank you so much. It's a lovely opportunity, Ma. Again, connecting. Abhilasha,
Hi,
I want,
Hey.
Ma, it was lovely experience there because dealing with child and adolescent psychiatry, and ultimately, it's a wonderful opportunity when you connect with the child psychiatry. The even parents then do come for their own healing because then they also ask that why am I suffering? This beautiful workshop could help me to connect, because ultimately that's what I always learned from you, that nothing happens in the universe without reason. So whatever happens as a part of suffering or pains, probably there are certain wounds which are unhealed or probably not taken care. So though dealing with the child rearing and parenting was always a forte and that helped me, but this workshop probably gave me beautiful insights to go into the deeper wounds, probably why the person is suffering. And this PSC therapy of transaction analysis is something amazing, because only just theory of deeper wound healing along with the right therapeutic model probably helped me great, because I had some troubles with my father, and probably that I could heal a lot, because connecting with that as a family constellation therapy there itself. So inner child healing, probably in one word, I would say helped me to connect with those unhealed wounds which was there, and has helped me to empower with the right tools how to deal and how to help others as well. And along with that Panchakosh therapy as what other 5 elements therapy what we do, and experiential is just amazing. Thank you so much. You in fact, very honestly to say, these testimonials are simply the stories what we have taken forward in the society, ma. So thank you so much. I in fact, this whole experiential training has made me a better doctor and a better human, because it has helped me to heal a lot of people and heal myself too. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Okay,
express my deepest
Dharmesh,
gratitude.
as you are here, and as everybody, I've just told everybody that he's also a psychiatrist. There is a question here, Dharmesh. Somebody is asking us, you can also read it, that many teenagers have addiction to porn and actually masturbation. So as a psychiatrist, what do you have to say about this, and how do you think that inner child work can be done to help them?
So basically, I learned a lot of things, and one more thing I specifically tell and counsel my parents, that at times we need to ask the right question. That's something wonderful art we need to master, so that we can really go to the pinpoint. Let's say for mobile addictions or something. So if we can really ask the right question, how we can constructively communicate with the child and make them more concrete and constructive using their time, probably then we will get the right answers. So these all, first of all, going to the root cause, the way this has become so easy available to the kids when they are not matured enough to really understand the right and the wrong part of it, and parents being not equipped with the right weapons, how to communicate with child also at times. So about the porn addiction, because a lot of education system has also gone on using the mobiles and laptops and iPads. So these all stimulations has been very easily available to the kids now. So kids being at the mercy of what's not understanding right and wrong, that is one very fundamental. So if that has become a part of addiction, this early child healing, even if that has become a part of their process or their habit, would help them to connect why this happened.
Correct. Yes.
And
so I feel,
right,
ma'am, Dharmesh, I just adding here, also I feel that there are times when people lack that touch, that loving touch, or they're looking for care, they're looking for love, which somewhere it has been a miss through their childhood. So
correct.
When they see something like this, or when they see this easy way of expressing themselves or expressing their feeling or whatever, so I think that was the easiest way that they found out. So I think dealing with that core element that is there in them, which has led to it. And ma'am, why only children? I think men also, people at a certain age also, even at a certain age, it's not just with kids. People have this problem of addiction of porn and all that stuff.
Yes, absolutely. I think both of you have said the same thing, but little differently. But I just want to tell people that porn, masturbation, or any kind of addiction is to do with the lower 3, chakras. So the root chakra, the Swadhisthana chakra, and the Manipur chakra. So like they were saying that we do a lot of work with the chakras. That means you have the root chakra, which is to do with the earth, you have the Swadhisthana to do with water, and you have the Manipura to do with fire. So when in the inner child retreat, when we work with these three different elements, slowly the sense of security, safety, touch, smell, because earth is to do with smell again, right? And as you know, small children, they tend to smell themselves, right? Dr. Dharmesh, do you agree? The chote bacche jo hote hain, they generally tend to smell things. So somewhere, as you know, sex is also to do with smell. When your partner and you are very intimate, smell is a very important aspect. And many of these children, they miss that in their early years. So for them, when they take to porn or anything like that, what happens is they are not actually accessing the subtle sense. They're going straight into something that's gross. Am I right, Dr. Dharmesh?
Yes, yes.
So when they go to something that is very gross, something that's just visually making them feel excited, what happens is they become like mechanical, robots. So they lose the humanness. Like smell is a human quality, touch is a human quality, and rasas, taste is a human quality, sensing. So the sensing aspect is dulled. And only the fact that they are watching something and getting excited, only that is what they look at. And that is how they get addicted. They are not getting addicted to porn, friends. They are getting addicted to what that is making them feel. So instead of just providing them with porn, through the work that we do, we are getting them to actually feel the senses. That means feel their sense of smell, their sense of touch, their sense of vision, looking, tasting, smelling, all this matters. So when you bring a balance or a kind of an alignment of all these five senses through the various things that we do during the retreat, slowly, unconsciously, subtly, things start getting resolved. So this is what I want to tell people, that please don't look at porn or any kind of addiction as a separate thing from your body or your five senses. Okay, it is all interlinked. But to only look at porn and then tell children this is not right, this is not good, this is not the way you should do, no, that's not going to help them, because there is some imbalance in their senses, sensory motor integration, as we say. The senses and the motor movement, the balance is not there. And that is the reason that people get addicted to so many things. Dr. Dharmesh, you want to add something, please?
Great, ma'am. So just wanted to add that, as you rightly said, that there is a problem found out in our lower three chakras, because now we have a tool at our center which measures chakra along with the heart rate variability. And this test has been approved by US FDA. Surprisingly, reiterating the same words what you said, ma'am, that we have now tested more than 1,000 patients as a clinical trial, and in majority, those who ever felt that I'm okay, their three chakras below lower three chakras are having the issue. So there is a lot of energy balance is found in the lower chakras, and that goes in times without their notice. But when we connect, I think they will be more grounded, so those five elements which keep us more grounded would probably make us more complete then.
Absolutely right, Dr. Varun. So we need to work with these five elements rather than just working. So somebody was asking that, any particular
ma'am, I
guidance
had a
on
request.
masturbation. No, hold on, Abhilasha. So my dear, I don't know whoever you are, I just want to say that unless you balance the five different elements, the person cannot come out of that, of these kind of various, addictions. So you have to go from the subtle to the gross. You can't go from the gross, right? You'll have to go from the subtle senses where the lack is felt by the child. So these subtle senses first need to be dealt with, then automatically other things can be done. So that's what I want to say, that it's not that I can tell you something or Dr. Dharmesh can just say something to you and things can be solved. It's not like that. These are very deep-rooted anxieties and fears that need to be dealt with. So this is what I want to tell you, that the person, whoever is addicted, needs to go for a retreat, not only to a doctor, is what I feel. Because the person is going to a doctor once a week. But when you go for a retreat, you are with that particular facilitator or counselor or psychologist for a week, for 5 days, for 4 days, day in and day out, morning, evening, night. And that is when the processing work starts taking place. See, you have to process emotions, right? Because all these emotions are frozen. They're frozen since childhood. Now, to open these frozen emotions, some work will have to be done, either through water, through air, through earth, through mud, right? For that, person needs to come for a kind of a retreat. Then only work can be done. Dr. Dharmesh, do you agree with me that when you go for a retreat,
Yes.
the work done is more significant than going to a doctor once a week?
Yes, Mar, absolutely. Otherwise, it's not possible, because the way you are consistently hand-holded for a couple of days, where it's like inner surgery, I would say, which is so methodical. And ultimately, when you come out, then only you realize that you are, it's a new birth, probably free from all the wound and the baggage what you have been carrying since long.
Also, I want to say the two of you and the others is, when you go for a retreat, there are others. See, all these people who are addicted to porn, alcohol, all these things, they what they do is that they generally don't talk about it out in the open. But when you come for a retreat, what happens is there are others.
It's a safe
who may be having some issue. So this kind of group work, and the fact that there are people who are listening to you, they are sympathetic, empathetic towards you, itself helps you to open up and not treat yourself as some, specimen, but somebody who's having an issue, a problem, and you need to solve it. So do you agree, Dr. Dharmesh and Abhilasha, that group work is extremely powerful than, one-on-one work?
Ma'am, also I would like to add now that people, when we come to such retreats, we are away from home.
Yes.
And when we are in a different environment, we are not bothered. We are not looking after home. We are not looking after things that are bothering us in a day-to-day life. We are in a new environment. There is, we are focused on that environment and we're working upon ourselves. So that time the work happens really well.
Absolutely right, Abhilasha. And I think Dr. Dharmesh will agree that when a child comes to him in his clinic, what happens is that the mother who's waiting outside is actually got her ears on the door. Am I right, Dr. Dharmesh?
True.
And moment the child walks out of the doctor's room, the mother is on him. कि भाई तुमने क्या बोला, डॉक्टर ने क्या किया? Right, Dr. Dharmesh? This is what happens in a clinic setup.
Ma'am, can we invite Hina, because she is only here for some time. She has to leave.
Okay. So, Dr. Dharmesh, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dharmesh.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Blessed.
Thank you. So let's have Hina. Hina, you've not sent me a request.
Hina, can you send a request?
Mauva is there. I'm just going to invite Mauva also, because she sent me a request. Hina, Bacha, can you send me a request? Yeah, just check. Mauva needs to... yeah, Hina is here. I'll just... Dr. Dharmesh, if you can leave.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Hina. Hey, Hina.
Hello. Hi. Hello, ma'am. Hello, Abhilasha. How are you? Hello, everyone.
See you. Lovely.
How are you?
Yeah, good to see everyone.
कहाँ है?
मेरा मन कर रहा है मैं इस बार भी आ जाऊँ inner child healing में. Listening to all this.
You can come and you can have other kind of processes, because as you know, every workshop is different. So
absolutely,
कुछ ना कुछ नया तुम्हें देखने को मिलेगा, करने को मिलेगा. So that's there. But
I'm
tell
sure.
us your experience of last year. Share that.
Okay. So my experience was exhilarating. I still remember. Hi, Apurva, how are you?
I'm
Hi,
good.
So good to
I'm
Apurva.
see everyone.
so good to see
So,
you all.
yeah, my experience was, I think it was the start of something new for me. I still remember मैंने अभिलाषा को call करा था.
I think she lost her network.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's go with Apurva. Apurva,
Hi,
share
Okay.
your
Apurva.
experience and
Hi.
I'll take
Hi,
Hina.
ma'am. Hi, Abhilasha
Hi,
ji. Ma'am,
Apurva.
first of all, I want to say thank you. You have no idea how much you have transformed me. I am not at all the same person I was 2 years back. And because of you, so many people are able to get healed via your students. And I am so glad that I took this inner parenting retreat with you last year. And I realized that children also need to be heard. They also need to be listened to. And I worked on a case on a 14-year-old boy. I was able to, via the things that you taught us in inner child retreat, this case of a 14-year-old boy was that he was in depression and had suicidal tendencies, and he was in severe anxiety also because of a lot of pressure created by the school, by the coaching centers on getting sort of their subject like science, medical with other options available, and he was not getting acceptance, like by from his family, and he was being judged by the school teachers also that he should perform or outperform. So he didn't even know what to speak in front of his family. So I called him at my studio, and you taught us very well on the drawing thing, like how kids talk via their drawing. And like we did that story thing when I drew a scene from Jungle Book, and I told you this Bagheera is you, and I am Mowgli here. So it helped me a lot understand. And similarly, I asked him to make a drawing, and he drew a picture where he made a school and a tuition center. He crossed both of them. He made children with faces, with big teeth, with big eyes. And when it was him, when he made himself, when he drew himself, he did not make any ears. He did not make mouth, and eyes he made really small. So I actually understood the way you taught us the interpretation on analyzing the drawings these kids make. Like he didn't want to be heard, he didn't want to hear anybody, he didn't want to speak to anybody because nobody would understand him or nobody would listen to him and understand what he feels. And man, for 2 hours he cried at the studio. And after 2 hours, I called his mother to make her listen to what he always wanted to speak, but he was in a very terrible scene. So I did all those steps in his therapy, which you trained us in a child retreat. Also, the therapies that you've taught us in the first PLR retreat. And ma'am, the child who was scoring 35-40%, he just scored 90.2% in just 8 therapy sessions, and he got rid of his depression. And he got to know, what he wants to achieve in life. He wants to be a zoologist, and he chose the subject like he really dreamt of. He was being forced to choose a subject by his family and his teachers. He was ignored badly for his passion and what he really wanted to achieve. So the techniques that we followed was absolutely step by step and bang on. The way you taught us with puppets, talking with puppets, and another 19-year-old girl case, which I discussed with you, that should I take it or not, a self-harm case, remember?
Yes.
And the trust you showed to me today, her family says we've got our child back. And ma'am, you are the reason that
Awesome.
she got recovered, because you taught me the ways to heal her, to help her. And she is now almost to be a yoga teacher. She's got completely okay from all those things. And she's, yeah, and it literally feels so empowered. I remember in 2020 when I spoke to you regarding all those experiences, you told me, Apurva, you need to be empowered to be able to heal yourself first and to help others. And these 3-4 experiences that you've given to us, including the Goa retreat, was life-changing for me. A lot of people are able to change their lives as a result.
Thank you so
much,
much,
Apurva, for the
Apurva.
wonderful
I
testimony.
think what she has said, I just want to say that as a mentor, my work is to teach you step by step, not just teach you, okay? Because that you can learn from, there are so many books, okay? But what works and what doesn't work. It's not that everything in a book it works. No, it's not necessary, okay? Because there's so much of research that is going on in the world. Somebody like me who's a mentor who keeps reading and keeps researching herself. And also I don't teach from a book, I teach from experience. So I think it's very important. I'm not saying come to me, go to anybody who has experience. That means who's seen thousands of different kind of patients or different kind of subjects, dealt with different kind of problems, because that is important as a mentor. For a student, it's important that I give an overview. At the same time, I tell you how you should go about a case, step by step.
Yes,
you can't jump into something.
Absolutely.
Correct?
Not at all.
So I think this is very important. Those people here who are mentors or who hope to be mentors tomorrow, I'm sure all my students tomorrow are going to be great mentors. They're already doing some amazing work. Why? Because first of all, I keep in touch with each one of them. They know that they can call me up, they can discuss a case, they can share with me the details, and it will remain confidential with me. This is very, very important for a mentor and a student, the mentor-student relationship. Okay, the Guru-Shishya Parampara. Okay, though we don't live in a setup, or we are not part of a, let's say, kind of a Gurukul, but yet there is a Guru-Shishya Parampara that we do have to follow, because that's the only way a Shishya in time to come will be as good as the Guru. There's no point in creating only Shishyas. I don't believe in that. I believe that a Shishya has to become as good as the Guru, because that is how this lineage or this work that we do will continue from generation to generations. So thank you, Apurva, so much.
Ma'am, last point I
really
want to
means
say,
a lot to me.
ma'am, only last point I
ahead.
want to say, that when we start getting cases from people who've been to clinical psychologists at hospitals, and then coming to us when they're unable to get those kind of treatment and help, then I dil se bas मैं कहती हूँ, thank you ma'am. Like every day dil se bas thank you निकलता है for you. It's a blessing.
Thank you.
You are in our
Thank you,
life.
Apurva.
Thank you
really
so
means so much to me. And Apurva is somebody who will keep messaging me once a month saying, thank you, ma'am, for teaching me this. Thank you, ma'am, for teaching me that. And it really makes me feel so good that, you know, I'm trying my level best, and it is actually reaching the students. So I think that's also very important. Both Guru and Shishya are on this journey together. It's not that I know it all and you don't know. It's nothing like that, okay? We are on this journey together, and there are students who teach me so much, who tell me such amazing cases, and I also learn so much from it. So I think this combined symbiotic kind of relationship that I share with all my students is so amazing, and I always thank them, always pray for them every day that all my students anywhere in the world should do good work, and should do it in the correct manner, ethical manner, and not just do anything. So that's something I always tell them. And Apurva, you are definitely somebody who's carrying the mentor. So thank you, Apurva. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, we have Param in the room.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but I don't know. They're not able to join.
Param, Mahua, and Hina is back again.
I know. I'm trying to accept. But pata nahi kya ho raha hai. They're not able to join in.
Want everyone to join up so that you can understand the experiences that people go through in the retreat.
Yes.
And post the retreat, what they have been
through. I don't know what the problem is, why you're not able to join in. Hina, any problem from your side? You're not able to join? Can you send a request again? Because I'm just not able to get you in.
For
any particular reason?
Request?
Okay, Hina's joined. Hina's joined back. Okay.
Hello.
Welcome
back.
I hope everyone can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Right. So I'll start from where I was, where the video got lost. So I was saying I called Abhilasha and because I'm relatively new to these things, right? I am not a healer, I'm not a therapist, but I think I am half there, 25-30% there after attending so many things. But when I called Abhilasha, I said कि मेरे को तो कुछ नहीं पता इसके बारे में, तो क्या will I be able to do it? मतलब do I need to have some prior knowledge of anything? And she was like, no, ऐसा कुछ नहीं चाहिए. Ma'am will start everything from the scratch and you'll understand it. And when I was there, I think, ma'am, you started everything from the scratch. मेरे को कुछ ऐसा नहीं लगा कि people are there जिनको कुछ पता है. Like Dharmesh ji is a psychologist, and Param was there, and so many people who already know a bit of these things. I never felt कि मेरे को कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा. So thanks to you for starting everything from scratch and taking care of everyone in the retreat, just like a mother. Like you are our mother for like 5 days there, like, and you gave us unconditional love. I was just my child best that I could be. I was so naughty and मेरे को खुद ही हैरानी हुई थी. I am not this.
Which
मैं
was
क्या
so
कर रही हूँ?
important. Which was so important for you to bring out that naughtiness or that irritation or whatever else, that was hidden for the longest time because you felt the space was safe.
Yeah.
So I think a safe space, when it is a safe space, people start expressing. And you saw so many of them expressing their innermost feelings unabashedly. They was crying and shouting and screaming and all. And everybody was patiently waiting for that person to finish the process. I think this is very important, Hina, isn't it? What do you feel?
Absolutely, ma'am. I think every one of us, each of us on the retreat, healed some part of us, which was like, कहीं ना कहीं वो कुछ ऐसा दबा हुआ था, which people didn't even know. And each one of us healed something or the other when we left from that place.
Absolutely.
So I think it was just an amazing experience. And the most surprising part for me was कि जितना बड़े से बड़ा हो, बच्चे से बच्चा हो, everyone need that nurturing, that motherly love, that unconditional love. कि, we can do whatever the hell we want and no one will judge us. I think that's जब हमारी the true nature of us comes forward. The inner child awakens, because the child feels safe.
Yes.
And in your
and
presence, I think that's what happened.
I think the most important thing that the group did was that in the evening, like you went out dancing, or people went out singing, or they went out drinking. So, the fact that you can heal while you're enjoying. Is very important for people to understand. You don't have to go to some God forbidden place, and cut yourself away and then the healing takes place. It's nothing like that, okay? Be there, be in the real world, be the real you. That's important. If you feel you want to go out dancing at 8 o'clock, go ahead and do it, okay? But, so what I'm trying to say is that healing is not about cutting yourself away. Healing is about being right there in the thick of things and being the authentic you and accepting yourself just as who you are, because the others are also accepting just the way you are. So I think this acceptance of the group in those 4-5 days makes all the difference, and you can make a shift. If these 15 people can accept me, then 50,000 people better accept me. So I think
absolutely, ma'am. I think this also changed. I think 3 type of relationship improved with this one, with these 3 days. One was first was with my own self. Another was my personal relationship with my family, friends. And third was my professional relationship, because I was struggling with all 3 of them. And somehow when you deal with the first relationship, that is with yourself, you tend to improve every relationship around you. So I think one of the biggest takeaways for me was relationships. I was able to improve all my relationship. And I am a new me now. मतलब मेरे office में मेरे partners and managers पूछते हैं like, who are you? Like, what happened to you? Like, Goa जाओ पता चलेगा.
That's awesome. See, Hina, maybe the year before, when somebody said something to you, you would like, step away or step back or feel a little embarrassed or whatever it is, right? Now it doesn't matter, because if 15 can accept, 50,000 can accept me. So let me just be who I am. I think this who I am is so important in life. You don't have to change yourself for anybody in this world. You just have to be you and allow that you that is hidden to come out. And that is exactly what I mean by reparenting. See, our parents parented us in some manner. They did what they thought was right. doesn't mean that at any age in your life you can't reparent and reclaim yourself.
Right.
You don't have to try and hide behind what your parents thought of you as. Right? So I think that's something that Hina, I think, has discovered it. And I am so happy to see her always, because she's now smiling, her skin is glowing, and she's just having a good time with her life. I think
Absolutely.
that's what matters
So,
the
ma'am,
most. So,
one of the most important point here was, I think Hina would also agree that to be in the retreat, you don't need to be a psychologist or a therapist or somebody who's actually doing the work.
correct.
Anybody who is new and a novice, like Hina was, you can always join up if you want to work upon yourself. And this thought of working upon yourself has to come from yourself only. Somebody
Correct.
pushing you, jaake aao, it's not, it will never work. Unless it comes from within, you can never help yourself.
Yes,
Absolutely. And I think that to conclude this, and the takeaway would be that if you want to heal yourself and in the process have fun, then just go and attend the workshop. That's it. You don't have to go to those boring psychologists and stuff. Just go to Goa and have fun and heal yourself.
Correct. And that's the reason that we've kept the retreat in Goa also. So that you can actually have fun on the beaches, in the club, and yet you can heal yourself. So
Absolutely.
I think that's very important to understand. No, lot of people have this idea कि healing center का मतलब, healing retreat का मतलब है don't drink, don't have late nights, just talk about all
I
these
will comment on that.
spiritual stuff. Okay, healing doesn't take place like that. You're living in a real world, where you are going to be attracted to everything possible. But what you learn is balance. What you learn about yourself will change the way you use these substances. And I think that is what is most important in any kind of retreat, So I don't know why. Thank you, Hina.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Okay, I'm trying to get Maua.
Is there?
I know.
And Param is also there.
Yeah.
Can we
Hina has left.
invite them both together?
हाँ कर सकते हो, but उनको join नहीं कर पा रहे. I don't know why. I'm trying to do it two, three times, but why they're not able to join, I don't know. Param तो धर्मशाला में है, तो शायद इसको difficult.
नहीं, Param, can you come? Param, can you just try sending a request?
नहीं, उसने भेजा है. I'm trying to accept it.
We also love you.
Param loves you, Hina. I think this is so important, that the expression of love becomes so natural. Those 4 days you bond with people who are strangers before they walk into the room, but later on they are like your soulmates, your friends for life, I think that's really what's most important. I know, Param, you sent me a request and I'm trying to accept it, bacha, but I don't know आप join क्यों नहीं कर पा रहे, मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा है.
Param, can you
I think
try re-logging in?
I think she's joined.
Okay.
I think she's joined.
Okay.
I'm trying to accept Maua's also. Param is not able to join. I think she must be having an issue because she's in the hills. Maua भी join नहीं कर पा रही, उसका शायद net down है कि क्या पता नहीं. But anyway, I think it's okay. People will join as they want to join. So the people who are already here, do you want to ask any questions? Anything that
related to the retreat or inner child or anything that you have in mind? Today you have asked anything.
Yeah, Maua is not able to join in, but I don't know what the problem is. Param is sending me a request, but ho nahi raha hai. Anyway, Param has sent a wonderful video. I'll be sharing it on my Instagram and on my Facebook. You will have a look at what Param had to say.
And even Mahua has sent one.
Maua has to send one.
She has already sent. I'll forward it to you.
Okay, forward it to me then. Okay. And there's Rita Sonavat. I don't know. You want to come into the live, Rita? Please come in. Okay. Rita, do you want to come into the live and ask some questions or something? Okay, there she is. Hi, Rita.
Hi.
Hello.
Rita.
My God.
Hi.
God, good to see you. It's been years. Awesome.
You after so many years, 30, 40 years.
Yes. But I think 13, 14 years does not matter. We had a super working equation. So, so tell me, Rita, what are you doing? And as a psychologist, as I know Rita, she's been a psychologist and attached to the SNDT University for a very long time. And she was the head of the department there, actually. Rita, what do you have to say for, let us say, the work that I do, which is to do with inner child healing? Do you think it's an important aspect of
what I like about your work is because today is a time when so-called you have invited today also psychiatrists, but what I have seen, these psychiatrists are not giving the time which is needed to work with the subjects. So that is one thing which I'm seeing. Even the same thing is happening with the counselors also. So these two challenges which I'm facing, which is a continuous complaint which is coming to me, madam, you refer to me, but they have not given time. So that is one aspect. Second thing, Tripti, is when I listen to you and your success stories and your student success, I can understand when they say the process you have told us, when they say you talked about art therapy, you talked about using puppets. So as a Tripti is the one who is doing really very good job. This is what is needed in this sector, and it is definitely missing. And so soon, within 10-15 minutes of interaction, they prescribe medicine.
Yes.
So I want them to understand first. Without understanding, if you're prescribing medicine and which is not helping them.
Correct.
With medicine, they are not saying go for the counselor also. So it's not a combination. So that is one thing. And second thing is the number is definitely increasing.
Yes.
So when you take people for the retreat and taking a group with you, that's a very good concept, I can say, because if you have to deal with the numbers, this is the only answer to deal with the numbers. And group is always helping us to say something very easily. So group therapy is always works very well. So that is what you are using. Once I joined you, that time people were talking about we have somebody, some power, some natural energies are there who are helping us. So that time also I thought we don't even think if those energies are there. And if you ask everybody sometime or other time, because when I was listening to your one of the professional, so I thought, yeah, with me this has happened, with me this. So that time we don't think about the energy and help us, and last moment we get a help. So those things are amazing. So Tripti, you are doing a great job.
Thank you, Rita. It means so much coming from you. You're such a senior psychologist in Bombay, and you have helped so many students. But I want to ask you a question, Rita. You spoke about group work being extremely powerful. Can you throw some more light on this, like in a retreat setup? You know, how the group actually helps each other. Can you throw some light on this?
See, sometimes it happens you have an experience, you got a feeling also, but you are not able to give the language to your experience. When somebody else is giving the language to that experience, then you relate exactly the same thing has happened with me. And then you go deeper, and then you are able to give language to your own feelings. Otherwise, you are just blocked, and how to say, how to tell. So that it's not, I'm not saying you are thinking what others will think. So those boundaries are not, I'm not talking about that, but you yourself are not knowing how to communicate. So that is in the group work, when others say, then it's easy.
Absolutely. I think you said something so important, language to your thoughts. You know, words to your thoughts. And that's what we have also noticed in the group work. You know, there's somebody who's speaking about their parent, and there's another girl who's not speaking, but she's crying. You know, so one person is giving voice, and the second person is actually expressing the emotions, because both of them are in the same boat.
Correct.
So this, what you said, is so vital in any healing, especially group work healing. So yeah, that's a wonderful thing you've mentioned, Rita. Rita, tell me something in your practice. When people have inner child wounds, that means wounds from the age of, let's say, 6, 7, 8, 9, so there's no trust is an issue, identity becomes an issue. In time to come, what can happen to such people? What can go wrong in their lives?
What is happening is they are going into the infantile behavior, especially 6 and 7 years. They go back to infantile behavior, that thumb sucking, nail biting, tissue biting, those kind of behavior are often seen. And second thing is rebellion. So we said rebellion age was the adolescent age. We always used to say adolescents are rebellion, but I have seen 6 and 7 are rebellious.
Correct.
And the issue here, what I understood is we don't have children in the family. We have prince and princesses in the family. So what happened when you are dealing with the prince and princesses, then you need to deal with a very different way, because otherwise you cannot relate the way you used to relate earlier. They're so touchy. We don't know which language will affect them. So one has to be really very careful in dealing with them. And their issues are very simple issues, but nobody has addressed those issues. So that is a big problem which I've seen 7, 8, 9-year-old they are facing. And they are communicative. So this age has a language, and they talk about it, but they are not allowed to talk about it in this age. So they're stopped. You should not be. They freely say, my mother has said like this to Papa, Papa has said like that. So they say about family. Stop. And once they are stopped, then 1-2 years after that, they have forgotten to talk about those things which are so important to talk about it.
Correct.
Then
Absolutely right, Rita. I think, this is what happens, as if you don't deal with these wounds which are of your childhood, they persist. So if you have a problem with your father and you haven't dealt with it, later on in life, you'll have a problem with your boss, you'll have a problem with your father-in-law, you'll have a problem with authority. So this continues.
Yes.
So this is what I think is very important to understand, because to the age of 6 or 7, either we make or we break ourselves. So if you feel you're broken somewhere, and how would you know that? Because as an adult, you are seeing certain patterns. So when you see these patterns as an adult, you know that these patterns didn't suddenly erupt in your life.
Yes.
That you took up a job and suddenly you don't like the boss. It's nothing like that. It started when you were a child because you didn't like your grandfather or father or whatever it is, right? So till you deal with that, you will not be able to deal with your boss. Only you'll just keep changing jobs and you'll keep changing bosses. And eventually when you're 45, you'll be exhausted, burnt out, and say, I had a bad work life. But you don't need to have a bad work life. You can just go back and attend these wonderful various retreats. You can attend it with anybody. It's not only with me. I'm just saying attend retreats rather than visiting a psychiatrist or a counselor or a psychologist.
One time,
because that one session per week is not going to help you. I mean, both Rita and me are basically psychologists. So we have dealt with patients on a day-to-day basis. And we know that with certain patients, you have to be available. Am I right, Rita?
Yes, so true. So true.
Ma'am, I would like to add here.
Yes.
I would like to add here. Currently, I'm going through a wound that is infected, and doctor has given me antibiotic. He said, take it for 5 days and don't stop it in between, because the process would not end. You need to deal with it till the core. So I think the retreat is same like an antibiotic. Take it for 5 days. Only then you are on process of healing it. Otherwise, that wound will still persist in you.
Yes, so true.
You said
so
the right
true.
thing. Absolutely fine. Yeah. But that was what I was saying, Rita, that once a week a session, it takes 6 months, 1 year. The person keeps coming back to you. You know, feels a little better, then again comes back. So this does not work in the long run. Because when you go to a retreat, it's a different ball game. You really have to be there. And the facilitator is there for you. You know, you're crying in the night, you can come to me and give me a hug. Because the I am there. That is important to understand. So, Rita, can you tell us this once a week sessions that counselors take, psychologists take? Do you think they really benefit? And if they do, who are the people who would be benefited by something like that?
See, those who have just minor issues, absolutely minor issues, and those issues are also not, nobody is ready to listen to them. So for them, these are helping. There is somebody who is just listening to me. So I have somebody whom I can just say, and that person is non-judgmental. So there it works. But little more than that, so-called, where we are talking about anxiety and depression and those kind of things, it really doesn't help. For that, I will say Nimhan's one organization, I can say, who is doing really good job, because when they take round, they spend something like 40 to 45 minutes for one person. So that kind of time they are giving. But they have a number is very restricted, small number.
A huge caseload.
And the number in this sector is increasing. And counselors are also increasing. Tripti, you will be surprised to know the kind of clinical psychologists are coming out. There are institutions, private institutions, they are giving a degree of clinical psychology, and to my surprise, I will say 15% of students, they themselves are suffering, so they have joined the course. That is one.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
So what happened? So because you are suffering, so you are not even understanding. Every time you are talking about depression, they think they are talking about me. Anxiety, they are talking about. So all the time they are thinking, I'm talking about them only, and I'm judging them. So to relate with them is so difficult in this situation. And another incident I would like to share with you. One person very proudly, she said, I have so much of problem. I was feeling lonely because she had a separation and some issues were there. So that loneliness. So she thought she will go to the counselor. And in between, she got somebody said, why don't you come and join our organization? We need counselors. So, and she has become.
She's become a counselor.
Imagine.
Also. And I thought, how she can empathize when she herself is having problem. So these stories are.
I think the field of psychology is, there are so many courses. You're so right. A 6-month counseling course, certificate course for 3 months. You know, you cannot become a counselor like that. You can become a kind of a granny. You know, you can become a granny and give some granny tips to people. Okay,
correct.
But you are not a psychologist who can actually deal with severe conditions that people are having, of depression, neurosis, hysteria. Okay, you cannot deal with them. OCD, for that matter. I mean, these patients require monitoring. They require constant support.
Yes.
You need to, first of all, as a psychologist, you need to learn different kind of therapies.
Yes. Yes.
You know, so
yes.
Nowadays what happens is psychologist gets MA, okay, and then becomes a psychologist, and then does work in a school, let's say for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. Okay. Now you are not equipped to deal with clinical population. You have only dealt with children.
So
true. This is I think this super specialization that is required in the field of psychology is not taking place, Rita.
Yes.
That's the problem here.
Very
and
true.
And as you and I know, in the master program, no therapies are taught. So if you have become a clinical psychologist, you're only doing diagnostics. That's it. You're not doing any therapy. But when you get out, you are supposed to be a therapist. How are you going to be a therapist? You cannot. I mean, you and I know we've had years of experience and years of doing different kind of therapies and integrating work. And that's how possibly you and me are where we are today. So I think it's very important for the people who are listening to me and will listen to this video later. Please, if you are having a problem, approach the right person. Please don't go on these apps. Rita and Abhilasha, what do you have to say about these apps that have come up, on the internet? Psycho talk and astro talk and this talk and that talk.
Ma'am, I would just like to say these are the chatbots. The easy way out, you just need a chatbot to hear you and to give you some advice which they have picked up from the internet. But trust me, that is only like a temporary pill that you have taken. But the core issue is still there and which we need to work upon.
Absolutely. Rita,
and ma'am, Param is there. Param, would you request again, because she corrected her data, something network.
I'll just get it. Rita, what do you have to say about this internet counseling?
I'm really now, I can say, scared to talk about, give references. I've reached that level, not having that confidence. And those who are really good, those who knew therapy, they are so much pressurized and so much burdened. So that is the reason it's very difficult to refer them, because they are not available for 2 months, 3 months. And in India, it's not like when you have a 100 temperature, you are going to the doctor. If you 100 temperature, you heal.
Still
you really go when the condition is not so good. And for that condition, these people are not really helping. We have not learned the decision. I'm not able to take decisions, so I will go to the counselor and he will help me to take decision. That we have not learned. So for that, we are not going to the counselor. We are going when the problem is acute.
And Rita, not only that, there are many patients who tell me, if I say something, they'll say, "Ma'am, this I have read on Google. Ma'am, this I have read on Google." So they have already Googled things. And now they are saying, they are actually telling us that no, ma'am, this will not work, that will not work. This I've already tried. So this is also another issue, because they don't want to work upon themselves. They want a quick fix solution.
Yes.
I said, my dear, I'll tell my patients who are, international clients, that there is nothing like a quick fix solution. You have to do things step by step. So this step by step homework bit, nobody wants to do.
Yeah.
They just want, ma'am, just kar lo, kuch bhi bata do humko.
Yeah.
So I said, yes,
step by step, after third day, there is a dropout.
There's a dropout. Correct, absolutely.
And ma'am, with the internet learning which has upsurged after COVID, every day you have all these online courses, online thing that people are doing, the quick thing that they're doing for one day, crash course. 2-hour crash course. What will you learn in 2 hours? So I would just like to say, somebody asked us here in this questions here, that do we have an online inner child retreat, ma'am? Do we ever do it online?
No, never. You can never do an inner child retreat online. It's not possible, friends. Online is just basic little work that we do, which is more kind of information based, because this requires experiential work. Experiential work where maybe the therapist needs to hold you. Right? When you're crying, how are you going to do it over Zoom or anything else? It's not possible, friends. Please understand. Okay? You are deprived of touch. And now you're saying, let me do it over Zoom. It's not possible. Please understand, I'll tell you something, where there was a client of mine, from a friend now, of course, but from out of station, and she had come for this particular retreat. And she said that I miss one thing. That is, I've never been able to sit on my mother's lap. Because my mother was always busy. So I never sat on my, because as we were working, she felt that I've never done this ever in my life. So I said, okay, please choose somebody here to be your mother. And she chose me, which is okay, as a facilitator in a kind of a retreat like this. It's a closed retreat. The facilitator can play a role. So I told her, come, darling, sit on my lap. And she sat on my lap and she hugged me for nearly 5 to 7 minutes. Wow. And she was crying. Right. Now, what is the role of a facilitator here? First, to move into the role of a mother. First. Second, not to become uncomfortable with the child touching you. See, many of the mothers touch because, okay, bas. That's what they do, okay? So, but no, that's not how a mother's touch should feel. So when I held her for 5 to 7 minutes, first I stroked her back, I stroked her hair, after some maybe 2 minutes, I said, I love you, my child. All that she wanted to hear was said to her. And it's unbelievable actually, Rita, but this person had a problem talking to strangers. And she had come flying, she flew from another city, right? So when she flew back, she sent me a message when she reached home that for the first, she's not a young person, okay? She's 63. She said, for the first time in my life, on my flight, I could talk to a woman sitting next to me. So why? Because that frozen energy of maybe I'll be rejected was melted. So as a facilitator and a therapist and a psychologist, and you must know how to play different roles. And when the role is required, that's also very important. Sometimes in group work, Rita and Abhilasha, there can be 1 or 2 people who want to hog the limelight because they are so deprived. There is so much of lack that they are going through, right? As a facilitator, it's important for you to understand how to use that lack to turn into power, but not allowing the person to hog everything. There are so many others. So this is also something that we need to do. So it's a very difficult role to play, the role of a mother, a facilitator, a mentor, but it's the best role that you can ever have, because you are empowering yourself to empower others. So I always tell all my students who come to learn that you have taught me so much, because if it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't have been who I am. So I think, Rita, you're going to agree to this also. All our students are like our gurus.
Today you are seeing her in this age. I have seen her very, very young. And when she was dealing with masters, young students, all students used to be big fan of her. So they always wanted her, like every batch wanted her she should come. And they used to wait for her, like when she will come. And after that, she started going to the media. And after she started, that time she was not this popular the way she is, right? But that time also
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful, ma'am. And I would like to add
at young
here.
age also, she was like a mother for my master students.
Yes, absolutely. I think I had a great time teaching the SNDT students, and I think every batch was so wonderful, and they learned. And I think I stretched myself to learn, to teach more and in a different way. I think that is very important. I remember once we had a workshop on kind of Gestalt therapy, and it was very interesting down on the ground floor, Rita, if you remember. And that was very interesting, which we had a mirror exercise. And so, it was years ago. But I think what happens with people like Rita and me is that our work is our life.
Yes.
So, we can't forget anything that we have done, because every group of students was so interesting for us. Isn't it, Rita?
Yes. So true. Very true. Yeah. And you know how to push your problems. So push the wall, push fast. Activity also. I still remember.
You still remember that. Yeah.
But still I remember.
Yes. So this is important. Processing emotions is important, friends. It's not about talking about emotions.
Yes.
You can tell me a long story, but it cannot change your life. But if you process the emotions in your story, sit next to the fireplace like let's say Cinderella, and feel that sense of rejection. That's when you will be able to heal. You can't just heal by telling me the story of Cinderella. That does not work, friends. Okay, so thank you, Rita. Thank you.
Thank you,
Means a lot to me,
Rita.
honestly, for you being here and connecting like this. It's really awesome. Thank you for
Thank
all the
you.
wonderful
Thank
stuff that you have said. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Abhilasha, so much.
So I
I
would
think
just like to conclude here by saying that,
absolutely.
in this workshop, you're not only working on yourself, but when you learn and, you heal, you're also taking back a lot of knowledge that, that you can work upon with your children, your client, your family, your relationships, like Hina had said. So do come for the workshop. It's in August 24th to 28th in Goa. You can connect with the numbers that will be given by Dr. Jain, and we'll see you there in Goa. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Abhilasha. Love you, darling.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank
Love
you,
you too.
friends.
Bye,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much for being present here. And I promise that I will keep having live at 5. I know a couple of you have messaged me saying, ma'am, we used to always wait for your live at 5 on Sunday, but then you stopped. I said, no, I was busy. But I'm going to definitely have a regular live at 5 on different topics, different things that possibly should interest you. Somebody's asking, Monica, do you have... no, Monica, there's nothing like an online inner child work. It cannot be done. And if there's somebody doing it also, please trust me that the kind of change and transformation that you require, you need to come physically with the facilitator. It cannot be done online. We can teach you online, but we cannot do the therapy online. That's not possible. School creates children, parents cause the difference. Absolutely right. Schools create children. Children are not created by anybody, by the way. Okay? They are born for a certain reason with a certain destiny. Parents have to realize that every child has their own destiny, and your destiny may not be your child's destiny. Abhilasha, you can talk a little bit on this, how your children are not following your destiny, but you have allowed them to fly and create their own destiny. I think Abhilasha is the right person to talk on this. She was a young mother, became a mother at the age of 18, 19, 20, and today she still looks so young, just as 18, 19, 20, but her children are actually 25 and 20.
23.
23.
Yeah.
But she'll tell you how parenting a child, you don't have to put the child through the pressure of making the child follow your destiny. Children are born with their own destiny, and they will find their own destiny. They will find that little niche where they will shine. Your child may not shine in all subjects, doesn't matter. But your child will shine in something which God has decided to put inside her or him. I think that
I
is so
always
important.
tell people, ma'am, I always tell people that, whatever you have gone through, that may not be the right way of being parented. Please understand this. And don't hold grudge for your parents. They did the best that they could do in the given situation that they were in. So don't hold that grudge. As a parent, when you become a parent, remember your children are there. You have to bring them up as, responsible people, responsible citizens. Allow them to do faults. It's okay if they do wrong. It's okay to do wrong, err at times. To err is human, as it is written. So even if they do wrong, allow them. Then only they can learn and they'll understand the other perspective of it. So, and the best thing, like ma'am said, give your children the liberty to choose their own subject. They might choose a wrong subject. They might say that, okay, I faltered in choosing this, let me again switch. It's okay to switch.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely. It's okay to
like my
switch.
son, he had chosen CA, ma'am. And in between, once I had paid the fees and all, he said, I cannot pursue CA. I said, okay, what do you want to pursue? He said, I want to pursue law. I said, okay, if you want to pursue law, please go ahead and pursue it. And today he is interning. He had already interned with BCCI. He had already interned with the very senior litigation lawyers. And today he is in Pune interning with Digit. He's going to become a lawyer next year, learning from Jindal Global. So it's okay. And even at school, if your teachers complain, ma'am, we can't hear you. Your voice is not there. Ma'am, we can't hear you.
Yeah. So I want to say something else to everybody. With the kind permission of Abhilasha, I want to say that she's such an awesome mother. Her son was like really a heavyweight, right? He was really obese at one time.
I'll ask
But
Varun
Abhilasha
to join
never...
in the live. Ma'am, I'll ask Varun to join in the live. He was there sometime back. I'll ask him.
Oh God, it would have been awesome for us to have him. But Abhilasha's son was obese at one time, because I know Abhilasha for so many years now, and his son also, and her son. And I've never heard Abhilasha push her son or tell her son that you should lose weight, or that, what's going to happen, don't eat this, eat only this. Never, ever have I heard Abhilasha. Because we used to go out on dinner dates, and children and Abhilasha and me and Shrija. Never. But her son, on his own, has lost weight. He is such a handsome, strapping, tall man who took charge of his life because his mother allowed him to do that. I think this is a very important word, friends, allowing. As parents, we need to allow our children to grow, not tie them up. If you tie a tree, it's not going to grow, right? Tie a twig, put a plastic on the leaf. Is the leaf going to breathe? No. So Abhilasha really taught, she was an amazing mother, really. Fantastic. I really salute her as a young person who's hardly 45 now. Okay. I think she's done a great job. Isn't it, Abhilasha? I'm just telling everybody that you never push Varun to lose weight, eat healthy, exercise. What's going to happen to you? If you grow older, you'll really
Ma'am,
be
I
fat.
had to. There are times when I thought, no, ma'am, as per society, sometimes we don't want to, but the society around is saying, "Acha, ispe kuch karo, ispe kuch karo." Varun, please send a request. Ma'am, Varun is here. Varun, send a request.
Varun का request आया नहीं है. Some Charu is here. I don't know who she is.
Ma'am, Varun Agarwal is there. Varun, send a request.
मैं देख नहीं पा रही हूँ मेरे वीडियो को.
Varun,
मेरे वीडियो
send a request to join.
Okay, I think she said. No, I'm not able to see the request.
Varun Agarwal.
पर
Ma'am, see you snake.
पर यहाँ मुझे दिख नहीं रहा है. हाँ, अभी आया. I hope he can join.
Yeah, he's off. He's an off today. So
accept Varun. Yes. Oh my God. So Varun is a prime example of how a mother facilitated her little child to grow and evolve in his own way. So Varun, as you are here, is a young boy. Varun, can you tell us?
Sanjana is also here. Ma'am, Sanjana is also here. Sanjana, can you join? Sanjana, can you please join?
Let me see if she can join in. I'm just going to see if she can send me a request.
Sanjana, send a request now.
Okay, so Varun is going to tell us. Varun, share with us your journey related to others. When you were, you had a lot of weight to lose, and all the weight that you lost, was it because people told you to do it, or you felt it was time for you to do it? Huh? Yeah, Varun? Varun's lost. Oh no.
He'll come again. He's there only. Sanjana, are you also joining up?
Varun, yeah. Let's get Varun in. Varun? Yeah, I think he's joining. Yeah, he's joining.
I saw it was network issue on my part.
No problem. Varun, please go ahead.
If I be honest, then growing up in a Banya family, there was a lot of eating. Okay. So always there was a good amount of eating. So yeah, I was an overweight kid.
Yeah.
And being an overweight kid, I did have people around my friends and every other person who used to visit would give unsolicited advice about, oh, you should lose weight, this, that. And to be frank, I did not know how I got there at the first place. For me, it was just normal. Um,
But your
and
mom,
my family,
Varun, your mom and your dad, how did they tell you about this? Because the rest of the world can say many things, but did you find your mom getting worried about you, stressed about you, anything like that?
to some extent, she did not.
Hmm.
To a large extent, she did not. But then again, if I be honest, then if every other person is raising a concern about your child's weight, and more than other people saying things, you also realize that your child has to be healthy. So yeah,
Correct.
she did have some concerns,
Huh.
but then they weren't extreme.
Correct.
Like she did pointed out that, oh, I need to like make changes to get healthy, but then it wasn't that at that level.
Correct. True.
So
But
yeah,
then,
but then
how did you
her,
start?
to be honest, growing up, I did enroll into every other yoga class, karate class, gym training.
Correct.
I used to be a 12-year-old like randomly going to the gym with 30-40-year-olds lifting weights, and I'm just roaming around knowing what not to do. So yeah, that was the thing. So somehow I knew, like, if anyone is asked to lose weight, they know that these are the ways of doing it: yoga, gym, exercise, and all. But then people don't understand that that's the way. Like, obviously, lose, like, you have to go and you have to work out, but then that's not the correct way unless it's done the correct way, unless it's coupled with the proper diet, and not just that, the proper mindset. It's not gonna happen. So even though I was going to all these places, my diet was not right. I used to think that, oh my god, मैंने इतना exercise कर लिया है, and then I would come back, I would eat, just offsetting all the efforts, whatever little I was making.
Correct.
So that never helped. But what actually helped, so after a point of time, I had just given up on the hope, because it's all these years of useless efforts had gotten me to a point where I was thinking that I could not do it, and it had gotten me to a point where even though people were pointing it out, I had made myself ignorant to their comments. Okay, but then eventually it came to a point where, so I used to be someone who was afraid of the weighing scale.
Okay.
And it came to a point where actually I got the strength. I stood on the scale and I saw that I managed to lose a little bit of weight, 5-6 kgs. This is after my boards. So
Okay.
during my boards, I wasn't. I was in the room studying long hours. After it got over, I went and stood on the scale and I saw that I did lose a little bit of weight, which was a big achievement for me, because till that point I had not actually seen myself lose weight. So when I actually saw that progress, I'm like, okay, maybe I can do this. And it started off with making minor changes in my diet. Like, I cut off sugar, I cut off the basics that we know are unhealthy, like sugar, white rice, maida, aloo, all that. I just cut that off. And it actually, I saw the results.
Wow.
But that was at a certain point. And after that, it was not happening. And I thought that now it's probably the right time when I need to consult a professional. And that's when I visited a nutritionist. And unlike the previous occasions, when it was pushed, like when not pushed would be a strong word, when my mom had like taken me to one, but this time it was my own efforts. I went and talked to her. She gave me a chart, and I can say that I religiously followed it.
Wow.
Down to the last gram. So this time I did it, I was myself conscious, and that's actually what helped. So yeah, my only comment to anyone who now asks me is that you cannot go through that whole process unless it is self-invoked.
Wonderful.
Like, no one's comments, no one's remarks will ever make you go through it unless you yourself believe that yes, I can do this. Obviously, the remarks, they act as a catalyst, in that at times when you are, like when I was at the gym, when I was running, so those remarks would play in my head. So it was a negative motivator for me. Those remarks were a negative motivator for me. But apart from that, the thing which came in was my own efforts, that I believe in this. I can get here. And after a point of time, you feel that now maybe if I stop, all these efforts that I've made over the couple of months will go to waste. So yeah, that's probably what pushed me.
Awesome, Varun. So we're talking about self-motivation. Unless you're motivated yourself, nothing can take place. So Varun, I salute you, my dear. I've seen your journey. I've seen what you were and what you are today. Confident, handsome, tall, wonderful, a person that you have become, all thanks to your mother. She's really been a great support to you, and the way she speaks about you, always in such a wonderful, loving, appreciative tone. I think this is something that everybody should also understand, that your son or your daughter can reach a particular point in life only because of your appreciative comments. Okay, and as a parent, appreciation is so important. Given in the right way, the right tone, the right word, all this matters so much. So Abhilasha and Varun, my dear, mother and son.
I would just like to add one anecdote from his life. There were times in his school where they had the health checkup.
Yes.
And ma'am, you'll not believe, those are the days Varun would, make up some reason, he'll fall sick. Because at the health checkup, where all the children are standing in a queue and they had to be weighed, because he was so embarrassed to do that, he would never go. So we would understand, and we wouldn't push him ki Jain tumko jana hai, mat jao,
Correct.
And as a child, I think it is very important. It is not related to weight, ma'am.
Yes.
But to know your children, to let your children know that you're always with them.
Absolutely.
Come what may, and they can come back and talk to you whatever happened in school. So there are times in the school, ma'am, when the teacher said to Varun that अच्छा तुमको तो 22 नंबर ना किसी से, तुम 24 नंबर मैथ्स में तुम्हें किसी से देख के मिला होगा बगल वाले से. He just came home and told me one day कि मम्मी देखो, I scored 24, my partner scored 21 and the other one scored 22. Then the teacher told me this. He didn't appreciate my scoring 24. So ma'am, and Varun told the teacher कि sir अगर मैं इनसे देखता तो मैं इनके जितना लाता ना, इनसे ज्यादा कैसे लाता.
Correct.
Ma'am, that hurt me so much. I went and I spoke to the teacher. How can you say that to a child who is doing efforts to study?
Correct.
You are joined back in a while, okay?
Yeah, bye.
Yeah.
So ma'am, this is very important for parents to know to stand by their children, because sometimes when you don't stand, because you are the only pillar that they are looking for.
Absolutely right, Abhilasha. So I think we've spoken a lot and we've had some amazing guests today. Somebody who's young, somebody who's much older and mature and experienced. So we just want to say, Abhilasha and me, that the Inner Child Retreat in Goa, 24th to the 28th of August, is a place where you can come. You can unburden yourself in an unabashed manner. Just do it, and we'll be there to support you. So what I'm going to do is, just below the video that I'm going to post on Instagram and on YouTube, I'll just write the details or the number that is going to be there. Abhilasha, can you just say the number just now before we off the
so you can always call us up, 9831115757, Shrija's number, or 98303216636. So you can call us up and you can register and know more about the retreat and join us there if you really feel that you want to heal and the generations ahead want to be healed.
Thank you. Thank you, Abhilasha. So I love you, darling. And thank you, everybody, for being here today. And thank you to all our guests. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.